All right, get ready for this deep dive. Today we're looking into this YouTube channel called Hypno-Vibes. And I got to say, it's all about hypno-channeling. And to be honest, that's a pretty new idea to me, this hypno-channeling thing. Have you heard about this before?
Yeah, I have. It's definitely interesting, to put it simply. It's when a hypnotherapist helps someone go into like a deep trance. And in this state, they supposedly become a conduit for a totally separate entity to communicate. Like they can speak through them.
So it's like not the person themselves talking, but some other energy or something speaking through that sounds kind of crazy. We're going to be listening to one of Hypno-Vibes sessions, right?
Yeah.
With the hypnotherapist, Naomi, and the participant, Jessica.
Right. And in this particular session, the entity channeled through Jessica, well, it makes some really big claims.
Okay, you've got my attention. So what kind of claims are we talking about here?
Well, first off, this entity says it's a hybrid being, not completely human.
Wait, hold on a sec. A hybrid being. So you mean not from Earth?
Yeah, that's what they seem to be suggesting. They say they were created in a lab, a mix of human and what they call gray, but they also say they have a soul and are here to learn and get used to being on Earth.
So it's like a human-alien hybrid sent to Earth. What, are they on like a break from their planet or something?
It doesn't sound like a vacation. They claim to be one of 350 similar hybrids sent all over the world to collect info about humans.
350? That's a lot of like intergalactic exchange students.
Yeah.
So why us? What's so interesting about humans?
They mention that humanity has to evolve, that we need to raise our vibrations to match higher frequencies. Makes you think about what they know that we don't, about where humanity is going.
Okay, I'm starting to get why this hypno-channeling stuff is becoming so popular. It's like a sneak peek into a sci-fi movie. So if these hybrids are just hanging out with us, how do they get around? Flying saucers?
Actually, this entity says they drive a car.
But they have driver's licenses too. Come on, this is getting a little too out there.
The entity says they borrow things just by thinking about them, even the car. That's pretty casual about it too. When Naomi asks about the car, they just say, I borrow that.
Okay, now they're just bragging. Borrowing a car with your mind. That's not in any driver's ed course I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Do they explain how they do that? Is this some kind of telekinesis or what?
They don't go into detail, but they do imply that it's connected to their advanced mental abilities. And get this, they also say they can teleport back to their pod in Area 51 to recharge.
Area 51, of course, makes sense. But hold on, if they're teleporting and borrowing cars with their minds, why haven't we seen them do this? Or are we all just missing it?
That's where consciousness comes in. They suggest that most of us can't see them because our consciousness isn't tuned to their frequency. Only people with heightened consciousness, like Naomi, can actually perceive them.
So it's not like they're invisible? It's more like we're not on the right channel to see them.
Yeah.
That's a wild concept for sure. And did they choose to connect with Naomi specifically because they knew she'd be sensitive to their energy?
Yeah, exactly. They felt a resonance with her consciousness. And here's the interesting thing. Even while channeling this entity, Naomi senses a blockage in Jessica's heart space. It's like the entity's presence is showing something deeper about Jessica's own energy.
Huh, that's interesting. So we had this whole interplay going on between Naomi, the hypnotherapist, Jessica, the conduit, and this mysterious hybrid entity. But how do we even start to make sense of all this?
One way is to look at the psychology of what happens during hypno-channeling. Have you ever heard of ideomotor responses?
Can't say I have.
Basically, it means unconscious muscle movements that can be influenced by suggestions or expectations. In a hypnotic state, a person's subconscious can be super suggestible. And so their responses, like what they say or do, might reflect those suggestions, not their conscious intentions.
So are you saying that Jessica isn't really channeling a hybrid being, but just responding to Naomi's guidance in the session?
It's possible. The words used by the hypnotherapist can subtly shape the content and how the channeled communication goes. It's like planting a seed in the subconscious, and then it grows into a whole story.
So we're not saying it's definitely not aliens, but we're saying there could be other explanations too. Gotcha. I like it. Be skeptical, but keep an open mind.
Exactly. That's why it's so important to think critically about these things, consider the amazing claims, but also look for more down-to-earth explanations.
I'm with you there. So let's dig deeper into what this entity says about what they're doing here and what they can do in part 2.
Welcome back to our deep dive into hypno-channeling. And we're talking about those really interesting claims from this hybrid entity. We were just considering how the hypnotherapist's words could influence the whole channeled communication thing.
Right, right. Like maybe there's more going on behind the scenes than we initially thought.
Exactly. It's a good reminder to be a little skeptical of those out there claims while still being open to what could be possible. You know what I mean?
Totally. Let's get back to what this entity is saying. So they talked about needing to recharge in a pod in Area 51. I mean, Area 51 and alien stuff, that's like classic, right? It's the ultimate UFO legend.
Yeah, it's really interesting how certain places become the center of these stories. Area 51, with all its secrecy and connections to government stuff, it's like the unknown. It's like a blank slate for people's ideas and anxieties about alien life.
And this entity just throws it out there like it's nothing. Just going to recharge in Area 51, no biggie. But what does that even mean? Recharge, what are they plugging into? Alien energy, space Wi-Fi.
Well, they did describe their bodies as being different from ours, almost like machines. So maybe their energy needs are different too, who knows?
Okay, but they also mentioned meeting this special liquid from the Greys to keep going. If they're so advanced, why can't they make their own food?
That's a really good question. It makes you wonder how independent these hybrids are, you know? Are they calling the shots or are they following orders?
Exactly. Are they just observers or something else entirely? Makes you think about what their real goal might be, right?
Yeah, for sure. And when they talked about adapting to Earth's frequencies, that makes things even more complex. It suggests they're vulnerable in some way, that they depend on our environment, which is kind of weird considering their advanced powers, right?
It's almost as if they're stuck between two worlds. Not fully human, but not totally alien either. They're learning our ways, blending in, but they're also limited by their own nature, you know, and whatever they were created for.
And that whole struggle to adapt is something we can all relate to, even without the whole intergalactic part, right? I mean, life is full of challenges, trying to find your place and dealing with all your own, complexities.
It's an interesting parallel for sure. So we have these hybrid beings, they're trying to understand us, collecting data on our energies and frequencies. But why? What's the point?
That's the big question, isn't it? They mention humanity needing to change, raise our vibrations to match these higher frequencies, but they didn't explain what that means or why we have to.
It's like they're giving us these little hints, but not the full picture. Maybe they're waiting for us to figure it out ourselves. Or maybe, just maybe, they're messing with us.
There's definitely a mystery to it all, that holding back of information, which makes it even more intriguing. It makes you want to guess, to connect the dots, and maybe even look inside for answers.
That's true. Maybe this whole thing is less about what they're doing to us and more about what we're doing to ourselves. You know, maybe they're here to show us a new way of being, to push us to evolve our consciousness.
That's an interesting way to look at it, and it fits with the idea of hypnochanneling as a way to tap into a higher consciousness, to get wisdom from something beyond our own minds.
Speaking of consciousness, the entity said that most people can't see them because our consciousness isn't tuned to their frequency. What does that even mean? Do we need to, adjust our consciousness settings?
Yeah, it's a pretty abstract idea. There's no scientific agreement on what consciousness really is or how it works. But some theories say that it's not just about the individual brain, that it exists on a spectrum with different levels of awareness.
So, we're all on different radio channels, and some people are picking up signals, others are missing.
Yeah, like that. And the entity seems to be saying that by raising our consciousness, expanding our awareness, we can tune into more realities, including theirs.
That's mind-blowing. The world we see is just a small part of what's really out there. And by changing our consciousness, we can unlock a whole new level of experience, right?
It's a really exciting possibility, and one that philosophers and mystics have been talking about for centuries. This idea that there are hidden dimensions of reality that we can access through different states of consciousness. It's a common theme in spiritual stuff.
So this hybrid entity, with all their talk of teleportation and crazy abilities, maybe that's a glimpse into those hidden dimensions. They're showing us what we could do if we break free from the limits of how we normally see things.
It's a really thought-provoking idea, for sure. It makes us think about how flexible reality really is. What we think of as solid and real might be more, changeable and fluid than we realize.
Wow. Okay. My mind is officially blown. I need a minute to process all this.
Yeah.
But before we get too deep into the metaphysical stuff, let's go back to something a little more concrete. The entity mentioned that kids are more likely to see them. Why do you think that is? Do kids just have a better connection to the cosmic network or something?
It's interesting, right? And it connects back to the idea of consciousness as a spectrum. Some people believe that kids are more open, more receptive to subtle energies and unusual experiences because their minds haven't been conditioned by, societal beliefs and limits.
So they haven't learned to filter out the impossible yet. They see the world with a sense of wonder, and that lets them see things that adults miss.
Exactly. Kids often have a more fluid sense of reality, a greater capacity for imagination and believing in things they can't see. And what the entity said about being more easily seen by kids suggests that maybe there's something to this idea of being naturally sensitive to subtle energies.
Makes you think, right? Maybe as we get older, we lose that ability to see beyond what's right in front of us, to embrace the mystery of the unknown. It's kind of sad.
Maybe. But it also makes you wonder if we can get that childlike sense of wonder back. Can we reawaken that natural ability for a wider perception?
I like that. It's not about being childish, but about tapping into that childlike curiosity and openness. Remember that the world is full of amazing things, and we don't have to limit ourselves to what we can see and touch.
Yeah, exactly. It's about expanding our awareness, questioning what we think we know, and being open to the possibility that there's way more to reality than we understand right now.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired. But I also want to hear more about what this entity says about humanity's future and this whole raising our vibrations thing. Let's get into that in part 3. All right, welcome back to the deep dive. We've been exploring this whole hypno-channeling thing and all the wild stuff this hybrid entity's been saying. I'm still processing this idea that reality could be so much bigger than what we experience, and that our own consciousness kind of limits what we can perceive.
It definitely changes how you see things, right? Challenging those basic ideas about what's real can be pretty exciting, but also a little scary.
Absolutely. It's like realizing the world isn't flat, but a huge sphere.
Yeah.
And we've only been exploring a tiny part of it. But this entity mentioned that humanity needs to change, to raise our vibrations, to match higher frequencies. What do they mean by that? Do we need to start, meditating on mountains and chanting or something?
Well, they didn't exactly give us a step-by-step guide to, cosmic enlightenment. But it sounded like they were saying that how we're living now is kind of out of sync with the rest of the universe. Like we're not in harmony with the natural flow of energy.
So it's not just about personal growth, but all of humanity changing its collective consciousness. That's a pretty big ask.
Yeah, it is. And it makes you wonder what's behind this need for change. Are we up against some cosmic deadline? Is there some test we got to pass? Or is it just a natural progression, like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly?
Maybe it's all of the above, right? Maybe we're at this point in our evolution where we got to choose a path that leads to more harmony and understanding, both within ourselves and with everything around us.
That's a great way to put it. It reminds me of people like Naomi. She's dedicated her life to helping others raise their consciousness and live better lives. Her book series, The Next Level You, explores all this stuff. It has practical tools and insights for personal transformation.
Oh yeah, I've heard good things about that series. Maybe we should check it out, see if it explains this whole higher frequency thing a little better.
I think it'd be worth a read. It might give us some clues about what this hybrid entity meant by raising our vibrations and all that.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
But before we finish up, I want to go back to something that really got me thinking. The entity said kids are more likely to see them because their consciousness is more open, right? It makes you think about how we often ignore what kids say and experience, especially when it's about weird or unusual stuff.
Absolutely. As we get older, we tend to prioritize logic and reason over intuition and imagination. But maybe we're losing something important in the process, like that natural sense of wonder that kids have, that openness to the unknown.
Exactly. What if we actually listened to kids more? Paid attention to what they see and experience, even when it sounds unbelievable. Maybe we could learn something about the nature of reality from those who haven't had their worldview, limited by society.
It's a really interesting thought, right? It makes us question who really has wisdom and insight. Maybe the most important truths aren't found in books or scientific studies, but in the way kids see things, those who are still connected to the magic and mystery of the universe.
That's a beautiful way to think about it. It reminds us to approach the world with curiosity and wonder, to listen to those who see things differently, and to never stop exploring all the possibilities, even the weird ones.
And maybe by being more open and receptive, with our consciousness, we can create a world where the extraordinary becomes normal, a world where the lines between what we see and what we don't see, they start to disappear.
Well said. Thanks for joining me on this wild ride into the world of hypno-channeling and the mysteries of consciousness. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.
And so now, I'm going to count on 1, 2, 3. We're going to channel a different being, and this is the person or the being I saw in the car on Monday. That is someone does not look exactly like human, is on Core Street, So I want this energy to be channeled through Jessica, and so I can have a conversation with you. I'm going to count from 1 to 3. On the count of 3, this energy will be here. 1, the energy can come through slowly. 2, almost here. And 3, am I speaking with this? I'm not sure if the name is up to. Yes, so are you the hybrid?
Just passing by.
And do you know me?
Yes and no.
So when you say yes,
You know of us. You know of us.
meaning
You saw me. That was almost like an
exchange energy.
yes.
So can you identify yourself?
I am more masculine than feminine.
Tell me more. Are you human?
Not fully like you guys.
You are a mix of us and the gray.
I have rubbery skin. I do have gray skin.
Do you have a name?
Don't feel attached to one.
And so how you were created?
In a laboratory.
Where is that?
Don't know the exact location.
But you have a soul, yes?
I'm trying to adapt. We are trying to adapt here.
So you can drive.
Yes, that's too easy for me almost.
You don't have to learn.
It's intuitive.
So let's say that day, if I walked over to you and talked to you, you would talk to me.
That's not quite it. I just knew that you would notice me.
But let's say if I was thinking if I should stop and find out.
I couldn't have said anything to you.
You could have.
No,
Why not?
I'm not sure how to talk to you.
You don't know, you cannot speak English,
I'm still trying to adapt and adjust.
so you might not be able to talk at
I
all.
just don't know how with you not to make you understand.
Ah, but how about telepathically?
Of course, I made you realize me
So that you were successful.
because I knew you would.
So how did you make the timing?
It just was right. I found it.
How did you do that?
I just know where to go.
Intuitively.
Yes,
So let's say, do you know where I live?
I can't find out if I wanted to.
Ah, and you are not in this room sometimes?
No,
So what is our relationship?
doesn't seem to have one
But then I'm confused why you need to make me notice you.
because I know you can.
What does that mean? Why me?
Because I know you will and feel and sense me.
But not other people.
Most people won't.
That's why. So what is the difference between me and others?
You're a little bit
Closer to what?
to us.
And you don't know what that is. You just feel that's the case.
Yes.
So what do you do?
I'm back recharging,
How do you do that?
trying to download information about humanity
Just
and to learn to adapt here.
so how long you have been here?
Earth time 4 to 5 months.
And how about the ones like you?
We were sent out individually to test almost. But not everyone can see us or feel us or
So,
sense us.
so let's say that day, if it's another person, might not even see you.
I'm sure I drove by other people.
They did not what?
They could not see me. I couldn't even see them.
See. So what is the purpose for you to drive around?
To adapt, to test almost.
Test what?
How does it feel like to be here?
And how do you feel?
Needs adjustment.
And so you wear clothes?
I have to.
How does that feel like?
Well, that doesn't feel too strange.
So do you eat?
Yes,
What do you eat?
some sort of liquid.
Is it special liquid?
Yes, for
Huh?
us.
So where did you get that?
They give it to me.
Who?
The people overseeing us.
So where are they?
They're back in what you guys would call the laboratory.
But where is that?
Can't quite sense where.
It's on Earth.
Yes, we need to adapt to their frequencies here.
So it's, let's say, this place called Area 51.
That seems to ring a bell.
I see. So why you, okay, so the people overlook you like they're very different.
No, they're 100% non-human.
And so we call the gray.
That sounds like a fitting name.
So they are in their ship.
Some of them are here with us, watching us adapt and receive information.
Right? But we cannot see them.
No, you guys are not allowed here.
I'm not allowed to see them.
No, you guys as a whole are not allowed to. come here and know about this.
Why not?
It's not time yet.
So what is the purpose for them to create you?
Humanity will change, just little by little. They're trying to test and make upgrades, to test
The limits of the human body
for what it can do and how it can.
merge. So why human need to change?
They will need to adapt to the frequencies.
To raise our vibrations?
Eventually they will be, well,
So when they watch you, the grays, what they do, they tell you what to do, what not to do.
no, they don't watch me when I'm out here. They only watch me to make sure that I'm developing properly.
So let's say when you're driving, if you did something, let's say hurt people, that can happen.
No, I'm just sort of there to collect information.
But do you have emotions?
Currently, not so much.
But you can develop.
Yes, that's part of the plan.
So how you can develop on your own
Need more information.
from us?
Yes, the humans.
So let's say what you are collecting.
Just the energies of how it's like to be here.
So do you feel this 4 or 5 months you learned a lot?
Yes, and thanks for noticing me.
Of course. Am I the first one noticed you?
I feel so.
Wow. So 4 or 5 months, nobody noticed you.
There will be 2, 3 more. No, there were, actually.
Before me.
I don't quite remember their exact form, but
So when I notice you, does that makes you feel good?
in some way, I just know what I wanted to do was done.
So when I remember your gaze, that the way you look at me is different.
That's how I exchanged the energies.
So what kind of energy we exchanged?
Just information about ourselves, what we know about living here.
So do you walk on the street?
I can if I wanted to,
And you did that before?
but it's much easier to find the person I want to when I drive.
So why is like that?
Because the people will notice me, and I know it's them that I need to exchange energy with.
So let's say let's say that area 51 is far away from here. So here in this area, we call New York City, you are the only one, or there are others?
There are 4 or 5 others. 4.
You know them?
Yes, we're sort of assigned to download information from this place, collect information, collect the frequencies in order for us to better adopt.
And so let's say,
It helps us become more human in some ways.
how many altogether like you right now?
350 is what I can sense.
350?
Yes.
Not a lot. I mean, not a lot compared with the human population. But everyone is feeling, how to say, having a different experience.
We're just collecting information from different points of the world,
And do you communicate with each other?
telepathically.
How others are doing?
They're fine. They're just collecting what they need to.
So they are female as well?
Yes.
So you don't have hair?
My skin is just rubbery.
I see. So let's say if you walked on the street,
Yes.
people did not notice you? The difference?
I have to recall. Because sometimes I just give the information and I don't remember it.
You're still, let's say, developed.
Yes, we're still trying to adapt.
So let's say you don't know this is contributed their, let's say, genetics, and you don't know.
I'm just made.
When you were just created, you were little or you don't grow?
I feel like I was just...
Always the same size?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
Like I was rather growing in consciousness than physical form.
Let's say, how tall are you now?
I'm 6 feet.
When you were created, you were a baby?
Not so much like human, more energy.
You did not have a solid body?
No.
When did you have the body?
I guess they did need to take DNA from you.
From human?
It's a mix, yes.
Right, they have to take DNA from us.
Otherwise we wouldn't have a form.
Right. So you don't remember when did you have this body?
Felt like I was more of a jelly-like substance. And this one was designed to fit, adapt.
Yeah, so do you remember? The question is, do you know that what you are going to do in our society?
I was just told we're supposed to be among
Monk?
the
Oh, okay.
human.
You don't know yet.
Not sure, but I know that when the right time comes,
Mm-hmm.
we'll blend in seamlessly.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a, you say, how old are you? Can you answer this question? How many years?
I don't
You can.
exactly know.
You cannot say you're young or kind of young. You feel you're young.
That's not how we are defined.
Let me ask you some questions that we're concerned about. So you drink, you have those special drinks, and so that is provided by the grace.
Yes, it's provided to us
So how often you need to drink those?
once a day.
And that's enough for you to keep going.
It just supplements our bodies, our
Mm.
physical forms.
Do you feel you have a physical heart?
I do, but it's not the same as what humans have.
Mm.
It's almost mechanical in a sense.
Chemical? And do you feel you have a brain?
Can't say.
Okay. You use bathroom like we do.
Doesn't feel like it.
If you are on the street and people look at you, and besides me, most people will not notice that your skin color is different or your skin texture is different.
I don't even think they will notice me.
They will not even see you.
No.
So what is the difference, let's say, between me notice you and other people did not?
I think it's consciousness.
The consciousness level.
Yes.
Let's say when someone's consciousness level is low, they cannot see you.
No. Never.
How about your car? Your car is there.
I borrowed that.
Sorry, also I want to ask, do you have a sense of humor?
Of course.
Okay.
Made to interact with humans. How else can we interact with them? We also are supposed to be, part of them.
All right. So you just said something like, oh, the car. You borrowed the car from where?
I can take things.
And nobody will know.
Yes.
But let's say if it's someone's car, and you can just steal it.
I think I can move things just with the thought because my consciousness is a bit higher.
But after you borrowed the car, you return?
Yes, it's so that they don't even notice.
I see. So you can open the door, no problem.
Yes.
And you drive. Actually, you don't really drive. It's use your consciousness.
I can use my brain to sort of move in some ways.
So it's not like you're driving.
Yes, I can just make it happen.
Cool.
They're also capable of this. They're just not there yet.
See. So you can move a lot of things. Yeah.
Yes.
You have never been to my apartment.
It's not of interest.
Okay. I heard some strange noise lately.
Could be others.
You said 4 or 5 are here.
4. 4 total, me included.
Okay. How many are male? How many are female?
It's half.
Let's say if someone is in my apartment in the kitchen, what they can be doing.
Maybe they're just watching you, see how humans live their life.
Okay. Let's say if I like to see you again on the street, is that possible?
Yes.
And how can I make that happen?
Just keep it in your heart, keep it as an intention, and just know that you will notice me.
In the car again, or
I can come in many different ways, not just a car.
I will see the same face.
My face will not change.
Do you sleep?
We recharge.
So what do you do in the evening when everyone is sleeping?
We don't exactly have a schedule like humans.
Okay, I know that. So where are you?
I'm back in my pod.
Where is that?
I think it's the place you just called Area 51.
It's pretty far, but you can just be there in no time.
Yes, with the thought.
Can we call transportation, teleportation?
Yes. We're supposed to go back anyway, so we do receive help.
Do you get recharged?
Yes.
And you meet with
other hybrids?
Yeah.
I go alone.
No. Okay. You have your pod?
Yes.
It's comfortable? You don't have that concept?
No.
So let's say you can see when someone's consciousness level is low, they cannot see you, but you cannot see them either. Or you can see them.
I can see them.
So let's say when you see someone is being emotional or is argued, angry, is crying, what do you feel?
I don't really feel much towards that.
Do you understand why they're crying?
Yes, I understand what's going on.
Let's say when you see children, you feel more
They can actually,
see you,
they can sense us.
but just sense you, not to be able to see you.
They can see us, but they won't unite us
No,
and make a big deal. I think they
Oh.
understand.
they don't feel much difference.
Yes,
You see them.
yes,
So their vibrations are higher.
yes.
If I want to see you, and I keep that in my heart, and I will be able to see you somewhere,
Just keep an eye out.
let's say tomorrow.
I can't promise that.
Okay. You sense time?
Yes.
Hmm.
Bit of a new concept, but yes.
You cannot feel any pain.
No.
Okay. Let's say, you're just there to collect information. Is there anything that you're allowed to do, let's say, to help humans?
Not yet.
Uh,
We're not finished being developed in some ways.
The person who overlooks you, do you know him? You can remember his face or his feeling? You just know. Or he has a name or something for you to recognize.
They're just a bit robotic.
Think they're robotic?
As in, they just do what they have to do.
Oh, I see. So they are beings above them.
It seems so.
And sometimes I have one gray in this room. You don't sense that right now?
It's not easy for me to sense yet.
So you have been here 4 or 5 months. You only had like 2 people or 3 people notice you?
The third one was half noticing. It wasn't very clear in many ways.
Oh, okay. How about, let's say, Jessica? This person right now, you're using her body. She can notice you?
She may if she opens her heart.
She needs to open her heart more?
Yes.
You see, let's say, our vibrational number.
Number?
I heard maybe there's a way to measure that.
I can definitely feel the difference in vibrations, but I'm not sure to say if there's a number, as so to speak, to judge.
I see. So let's say right now I'm talking to you, so you feel the vibration, like you can use the word to describe.
You're more in tune, more in touch, because you can actually work towards it and believe it.
But most people don't.
No, they're asleep, so to speak, so to say.
Do you know why?
That's just how they are.
From your sense, you feel they're asleep.
Yes. Heart is not open as much.
Can open up more.
She can. That's what I feel. There is a bit of a blockage.
What is that?
Heart space. See, ours is naturally open.
What is not, or what?
I can't tell you what it is. But I'm using her body. I could just feel so.
You say one more time. What is not fully open?
Her heart space, her chest.
Ah.
Even when I'm in it, there's a bit of a pressure there.
I see. Right. So I'm very glad we had this conversation.
Yes, I want to go back to recharging.
Oh, okay. I'll let you go, and hopefully I will see you somewhere else.
Yes.
No.